Namaskaram. I am DrTPS from Hyderabad. Happened to be with the Department of Space for 20 years, and job was land resource. The job was topographic mapping from Space Department. Satellite images. Topography means the geography, the earth, with its undulations understood perfectly. The height, which is represented by contours in maps, latitude, longitudes, what you see on the Google map today by anyone. But I was also keen and then making maps where I could also map the heights. So I understand the geography, I understand the topography, I understand river, road, and such structures. And very recently, a week back, as I am from Kerala, a week back I made a small discussion on how and what can be done to stop all the panic situation because the river flows crossing the roads. No, the other way. The roads are made crossing the rivers, therefore the river flows crossing the roads and over the roads. Number one. Number two, all the roads where the houses are faced, if you see, the roads follows rivers, roads follows valleys. That's a natural understanding when we look for roads. That's how the military people does. That's how new roads are made in not too hilly top mountain, otherwise in normal places. But specifically in Kerala, unlike the western country, we can see wherever houses are facing the roads, behind the house will be the river. I was surprised to see most of the pictures which came on the television because of the flood. The houses have fallen inside the river. And I heard a very humorous, I have to say humorous, report saying that one of the big bus depot of Kerala State Road Transport Corporation, many conductors, drivers, guests who are coming from different places stay in the depot, and they have got a room stay facility available there. And because of the flood, all the soak pit tank, the waste tank, everything has flown in the water. That's what they said. So you can imagine where the waste was dumped or where it was situated. It was very close to the river. If a government institution can have that, you can imagine what will be the situation. Those who love rivers, generally what is done is the river flows and the roads will be made both sides of the rivers, and the construction will never be close to the river because both sides are roads, and all the other houses on both sides of the roads will face. That means a person who is staying will have a road in front and then the river, then another road. And therefore public property, the river is a public property. Both sides of the river we have public property which is road. If at all some flood or something happens, assume river has got a 5-meter width and again road has got another 5-meter each. 15-meter is kept in case if there is a flood, in case if there is a flow. It will not reach the people who are staying, and no agricultural land, no encroachment, nothing can happen because road is there which will safeguard the river on both sides. And river also will not get polluted because of this. And you can have a good greenery which can be seen from the road, at least one side of the road. The other side can be inhabitants, people, all the cultivation, all the civilization, all the buildings, everything can be there. So development can be monitored continuously. It can be maintained continuously with lot of biodiversity corridor which can be part of the road and the river and the common property of the government. Now, having said this discussion in the last week, today and this week the panic is that Mullapperiyar dam, whether 1 meter is up or 2 meter is up, what is it going to happen? And Gadgil and Kasturirangan made a lot of restrictions for people to occupy those places, selling those places. The rules are very, very shabby to look at it sometimes. That is because they don't know, or they are ignorant about the bigger consequences what is made by dam construction, road construction, all the municipality permissions given, and all that will create a lot of ecosystem imbalance. And people say that the Western Ghat is very much in danger because of the constructions, all that is done by people who are staying close to that. So let us look at the history of Mullapperiyar Dam. The dam is 176 feet. 176 feet, it is almost like 18-floor building. 18-floor building, you can imagine. If 10 feet is the average height, and the length is 1200 feet, dam itself, only the dam. So you can imagine behind that you have got a huge water which is much heavier than the whole Cochin city or Alva city or Ernakulam city all put together, because 17 feet water, no? 1200 feet, the dam itself, that can be the opening when the flow happens. Not everything is opened, the slits are opened separately, but the push can be, the velocity can be more when you are making a small area to, but wider opening, velocity will come down. That's a natural understanding. Through a pipe, the water is served for agriculture purpose in Tamil Nadu, serving almost lakhs and lakhs of agricultural land. That is why Tamil Nadu has got interest there. So the dam is constructed in 1887 when the Travancore Raja had an understanding with the Madras state, then ruled by the Britishers. And big salute for those great British army engineering capability with a supervisor called Benny Cook, who made this dam, and still it is in perfect condition. I don't think any scientific study agencies who have done with their expertise on looking at a dam, it said it is going to collapse soon, nothing is going to happen. But then look at the Gadgil committee, the Kasturirangan report, everything says the Western Ghat is a volatile environment, ecological mountain which needs lot of care. It's a very bad situation. If some agricultural people do some agricultural activity or maybe sell or construct their own houses, a small house, a 2-storied house is only 20 feet, but from there very close you have got 175,000 square kilometer area, which is like a big bomb probably, and you are talking about a small cigarette fire. because it's owned by government, because it is owned by two different states, you are silent on there. But whereas you are not tolerant for those people who are for the livelihood doing some small agriculture, and they are in a situation they cannot even throw that, they cannot even sell it to somebody else, because there are a lot of restrictions on, you cannot part it, you cannot sell it to somebody else for construction, you can only give it to, and you cannot convert an agricultural land into a development. So development is always hazardous. When there is no development, why people have to stay there? And you cannot get out of that place because you cannot make a development there. See, how do somebody stay in a place where there are no developments? So the whole area what you are seeing from the top, if the water flows, it comes to the Periyar river, again connected to the dam which is totally owned by Kerala government, like Idukki Dam. We will see that in detail. And it has to run approximately 50 kilometers only. The 50 kilometers is not, 150 kilometers only. The 150 kilometers, the water flow can be 2 hours to 3 hours. The drive along the road takes only 4 hours, because the roads are not good. If the roads are good, it takes only 2 hours. So the water can reach from the dam to the Cochin city. Maybe 5 times the Cochin city is the area of the water. With that height, if it comes, the whole city can be vanished. If they open that, or if it breaks. That is where the panic started. I am not saying it is going to break, but the geography is such, the terrain is such, from the top to the bottom, the water can flow very fast. When you look at the Periyar Dam to Idukki Dam, the slope is such, it can just get into the Idukki Dam, and from there the Idukki Dam has to be opened. It's only 45-50 kilometers, and another 100 kilometers is a city, right? The 2.17 lakh hectare is being served by the Periyar Dam to the Tamil Nadu agriculture. So they cannot just open it. They need regulated water, because they want water during the whole summer going to come, and the water is collected during the winter and the rainy season. So it's huge requirement for agriculture, and here a huge worry on what is going to happen. Now the Idukki Dam, where the Periyar Dam water flows, the overflow of the water, the height difference is approximately 850 feet. That 850 feet, the whole water is not going to flow. I am not exaggerating it too much, but once the water starts flowing with the slope in 45 kilometers, the 800 feet is not a very big slope, though in the figure it looks like so much. But the flow, by the scientific study, it says it can, see the arrow mark, from the Mullapperiyar Dam, it can go up to Kochi. After the Idukki Dam, Cherutoni Dam, it can go through the Mullapperiyar, Todupuzha, Aluva, through the Periyar River, and it can affect Kochi. And the people who, the Kerala is the biggest crowded city, can be in terrible situation. That is where earlier it happened. It happened in 1981, it happened, 1992 it happened, but not as panic as this, because earlier effects and today's warning system, the number of roads, the floods which has happened, maybe 4 or 5 hours. The biggest problem is because of the construction, because of the bridges through the river, the water flows normally, there would have been no problem. So where is this panic situation coming from? That is because the river is flowing and your construction of bridges across the river with the pillars and the obstacle, anything which falls definitely will have the first stoppage here. Therefore, the water will get clogged. The free flow will be stopped. Once that breaks, and the next bridge also will break. So it is not the dam water which is creating problem. You have constructed a lot of things, and the river is also being encroached by the public under the development, the name of development with the private occupation, not the government development programs. As I said, the roads are beside, nothing would have happened. So instead of looking at the dam and the problem and the water flow, actually Kerala government, if very serious with the development process which needs to be supported for the public people living all across that area of 150 kilometer or maybe 200 kilometers surrounding this, the potential water flow area, the river need to be cleaned up so that the biggest problem of Kerala, where the clean water is not available, agriculture water is not available, drought is a problem, clean water is not there. This can be a great resourceful water. You construct dams in between, occupy the place, and then regulate it as you want, so that we could also store water as and when we want. We can use it for agriculture throughout Kerala. That is the potential of that. And the rest of the water can flow through the river more peacefully. Make roads on both sides of the river. Allow people to get moved away from this place so that Mullapperiyar dam need not be demolished. You need not construct another dam for this purpose. Along the river, on the same flow, like Idukki Dam, 50 kilometer, you construct one more dam. Beside that, looking at the altitude and the height and the slope and the topography of the land. Right? This is my one submission. It is not to alarm or not to worry about this. It is to look at this more scientifically in a developmental way, so that many problems can be solved, and this routine interval of many warning signs will not come. Even at all it rains, nothing is going to happen. If you look at rain, floods are related, and that is affected wherever the rivers are there. That is because we don't maintain the river properly. Kerala is blessed with natural resources, blessed with natural rivers which can feed the whole population plenty of water, and selling that water in bottles. We don't even manufacture our own. You can imagine Kerala is drinking water which is manufactured somewhere and then bottled, and then says it is drinking water being served to Kerala. Whereas Kerala can serve not India, the whole world. We can sell water. And if some people who are rich with a lot of scientific aptitude and with the political will, Kerala can become just the richest by natural resources, especially water, as one of its exports, one of its best usable agricultural, and where I am sure a new model can be created to safeguard the ecology, mountain, and we can give a good answer to the Gadgil and Kasturirangan report. And I am sure central government and state government will become more supportive to such any progressive activity, any scientific activity which people take. If this video can be a good trigger for such a thought, I will be very glad. Thank you all. DrTPS from Hyderabad.